to you on Hot 102 and also on the internet at cvmtv.com. The security forces continue a massive operation in TIVALI Gardens at this hour, with gunshots reverberating throughout other sections of the capital. The joint police-military team descended on the community to execute an arrest warrant on reputed Shower Posse leader Christopher Dudus Cook, who the U.S. wants extradited to face gun and weapons trafficking. Up to a short while ago, the police have confirmed that 6 of their members were shot, 1 fatally, while another was injured in an accident. It's not clear though how many civilians have been killed and or wounded in the West Kingston community. The security forces say they are resolute in bringing the area to stability so that law-abiding citizens of Western Kingston and its environs can get on with their lives in peace. Police and soldiers were reportedly engaged in firefights with criminals, while there were reports that thugs set fire to a section of the Coronation Market. The legal team of TIVALI Gardens strongman Christopher Dudus Cook will seek an audience with Chief Justice Zayla McCullough come tomorrow. This after a meeting they say was scheduled for this morning with Charge d'Affaires Isaiah Parnell at the U.S. Embassy was cancelled. Lead attorney for Mr. Cook, Don Foote, said the meeting at the embassy was not necessary in light of the unfolding circumstances Monday. According to Mr. Foote, the next step is to meet with the Chief Justice to fast-track the hearing for May 31 to an earlier date.
In light of all this development, one of the possibilities is to see whether or not the hearing could be brought forward. All I can say at this stage is that tomorrow is a working day. I'll be seeking audience with the Chief Justice in light of what is happening.
Mr. Foote added that although it is usually an option in extradition proceedings for individuals to waive their rights, and in this case for Cook to be taken to the United States, he has not been given instructions by his client to do so. This now means that Cook could still go before the courts in Jamaica to continue a process which his lawyers have already started. Our cameras fanned out on the streets from Red Hills Road to sections of South Camp Road. The police had their hands full as they tried to bring the city under some semblance of control. We join our reporters who are on the streets with a roundup of today's activities a bit later. And the unrest in TIVALI Gardens had a ripple effect in another inner-city area today, sending residents scampering for cover. Our news team was pinned down for several minutes in a section of Arnett Gardens with 2 men shot and injured in full view of our cameras. We'll get to that report a bit later in the newscast as well. And we now have our roundup from our reporter Andrew Cannon, who has been in the streets since early this morning.
It may have been an ominous shadow of what would unfold on Monday afternoon, as this was the scene late Sunday evening on the outskirts of what had been described as the heavily fortified and armed stronghold. Now we're on Marcus Garvey Drive, where several police officers are keeping a close watch. Now earlier this afternoon, it was sent out that if persons wanted to leave TIVALI Gardens, buses would be available. We are in off one of those buses right now, but as you can see, it is rather empty. Some 24 hours later, this. Western Kingston and its environs were hotbeds of sporadic uprisings. Rima and Arnett Gardens, the adjoining neighborhoods of the epicenter of the flare-up, felt the aftershocks following the jolts in TIVALI Gardens. Explosions jerked the areas, but many were not necessarily fearful, but rather excited. Police sources theorize that the flare-ups were a tactic to lure the lawmen from priority number 1. From all indications, the police wanted to send the message that they were equal to the task. Here at the mobile reserves, we were told that the cops got wind of information that lawless elements were brazen enough to unleash fury. No chances will be taken. Here, all are armed, preparing for something imminent. However, on South Camp Road, the cops were certainly facing it. This area is not too far from Mountain View, the area where some 24 hours later, a cop had met a brutal demise. Now shots rang out from all around. Motorists were turned back as the authorities had blocked off the road as feverish efforts were being made to pinpoint the location of the deadly firepower. Sly Pen Road was no different. We are now on Slide Road, and as you can see, the police are out in their numbers. A barrage of gunshots are being heard in the area, and the police are trying to find out from where those shots are coming, even as they try to take the gunmen down. In the distance, in the vicinity of the KPH, is Hannah Town, and we heard much gunfire from that direction. But amidst the rain of bullets, some were still traversing streets. This man, who appears to be insane, is oblivious that all hell could be breaking loose around him. Interestingly, though, the cops were not only trying to fend off attacks, but they were clearing roadblocks. This is a section of Red Hills Road, and the night before there was mayhem, shooting and blockage. But as the cops tried to restore normality, they had to be always on the lookout, as the terrain is of such